Pagans, Animism, and God. I'm a pagan, and I don't believe that removes me from believing in God. I just don't believe in the biblical narrative. I don't believe in the Quran. I don't believe in the Bible. I don't believe in the people who wrote them. I'm not saying I don't believe as in they're not real. Like the physical people in the book exist. But I don't believe in their narrative. Um, I also don't believe that it is their definition of God is accurate. Um, I like the Hermetic, which is a product of Christianity. I like the Hermetic explanation, but they're really just going back to animism. And and if you read books like the Kybalion, where they talk about like the all-encompassing consciousness, we're looking at very, very old Vedic ideas, which are pagan. Um, and as a polytheist, like, and I'm a Germanic polytheist, that is my ethnic people. I'm an Anglo-Saxon descendant. I am very, very English, painfully English. Beans on toast wasn't half bad when I tried it. Um, you know, I guess that says something, ancestral memory or something. Uh, but I'm a post-Ragnarok believer. I believe a lot of what people say when I saw Jesus and I died. I'm like, it sounds like Balder, and he rose after Ragnarok to the throne of Asgard, I think, because the children of the gods are still there and all these things. Um, and then there was supposed to be a place called Onling, a higher heavenly body place, a hall called Gimli, that Odin and the gods who fell in Ragnarok, including the Einherjar, the warriors who fight their rise to. And to me, this is just a human story of immortality, rising, ascendancy. It's very European, it's very pre-Christian. Ascending levels of life and reality and consciousness are not new to us, and neither is God. The divine consciousness in animism, as I could primitively explain it, would be that we believe that even down to atomical structure, the very little pieces that make up an atom are conscious enough to perform their task. Just as atoms vibrate at particular frequencies to bond and create matter and visible reality and invisible reality as we can witness it, just as molecular structures are conscious enough to perform their task and form reality and functions and things as they go, just as every cell in our body is conscious enough to perform what it does and live its life as it does to what to it might be its solar system or its cosmos, which is like the body, the biological form. Just as trees and nature is consciousness defined at varying levels in animism simply means all things are conscious on micro and macro scales. Our body is made up of many conscious little things, and we as a body are conscious. Same to a solar system, to a galaxy, to a universe, to the multiverse, and all of the all-encompassing limit, the all thing, if you will, is conscious. And that's where you get into ideas of the all in a like Kybalion sense of philosophy. Is the all-encompassing thing. Not even nothing exists outside of the all, else it would not be the all. There's a paradoxical event horizon, a limit, where it's not the all if there's anything beyond it, therefore there is not even nothing beyond it. It is everything, and that is conscious. And, people have theories about how consciousness divides itself. Is consciousness, the divine conscious dividing itself so it can look at itself and observe itself and learn itself. As we meditate inward about ourselves and our own soul, and we meditate outwards towards the cosmos, the concept in the Kybalion is that the all can only meditate inward. Um, all things are within it. Um, and it divides its consciousness down infinitely to understand itself. Every good and evil exist within it. This concept is, to me, the most potent description of uh, what I could call the God, you know. Um, all right, Clay, well, if you believe in that, then why do you believe in your pagan deities? It's consciousness divided down. I don't believe souls cease to exist because they die. My ancestral deities, my Wodens and Freyrs and Thors, have lived on some kind of temporal reality, or here, or we descend from them. Just as uh, people like Hengist and Horsa, descendants of Whitgils and Wetka, descendants of Woden, or just as in Eastern Europe, Veles is supposedly a descendant from an ancient variant of Odin. Uh, some cultures are like Odin is new and current in Asgard, and then other cultures are like Odin's very, very old and a wandering figure because who knows where he is at this point. Very mercurial figure, if you will. Uh, the great chief war god magician. He's a lot of things, a whole lot of things. And that has so many different variations in other forms of polytheism. But I believe each person's folk deities are real for them and that they descend from them. And that's why, like, I'm not super pan-pagan. I don't like to believe that the European deities are the same deities as, like, the American continent deities or in Africa. And no, I believe, like, particular people descend from these mythological pantheons in some way. And that mythopoetic migration and development of the peoples is simply um, the veneration of spirit continued, life after and life onward. And I think Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they remove a huge portion of religious and spiritual veneration. Where are the divine mothers? Where are the you they cannot encompass all spirituality and preach to us that they know the cosmic conscious, they know God better than everyone else, and that their narrative is better. It makes zero sense to me. Um, and Christianity, as the cult it uh, is foreign to my ethnic people. We have our sky daddy. We have Deus Pater and the great Dagum Mater, Earth Mother. We have a married, not matriarchal or patriarchal, really, except for later development, but a merriment of function. You know, and that's what we celebrate. The things that bind together to create reality itself is celebrating consciousness at its most microscopic forms. Same in the cosmos. I like to theorize that, you know, the first thing the all did was divide itself down into two halves that I could call the divine masculine and the divine feminine, so it could observe its different halves in some kind of division. And then archetypical division of consciousness, the divine feminine needed to understand itself further, so it separated all of its parts. And the divine masculine did the same. And everything is some kind of separate expression observable by every conscious form, just as we do. Just as we fall in love and have children and all these things, and just as we try to understand the mystery of one another. This is reflection, as above, so below, as within, so without, all of these things. I ramble about this because it never ceases to make sense to me. And at a certain point, it's healthy to admit you don't fucking know. At some point, you're made of it all, so you have some kind of inkling knowledge. You have some kind of revelation of what is. But to fall into the illusion of I know exactly what that truth is the thing that leads you off the fucking rails, like some of these great religious powers that exist currently as organizations that are in charge of nations in this world. They're a natural development. As I said, every good and evil exist within the all. I'd just like to say that, regardless of their accusations against paganism, barbarism, human sacrifice, and blah, 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 cults of suit-wearing, creepy, baby-eating pedophiles were not in charge of entire regions like that until monotheistic cults took over. So I would like to correlate or recognize a pattern there. And if you don't agree, like, I don't know, enjoy yourself, because no one cares if you disagree. It's evident. And we see currently a huge effort to suppress connection to ethnic paganism, polytheistic practices. There's a huge globalist push to make everything one true religion, because that would make one true government, one true rule, one true. It's very easy to control people if they believe in a centralized thing. I think separation and preservation of the things that make things unique and diverse is what preserves uh, the ability to experience reality in a very colorful way. I think we'll reach like the dead end of our experience if we just ever wrapped it all into a gray one thing, you know. Or maybe that's part of the experience, but it's kind of nihilistic to not resist that, I would think. Seems kind of gross and ugly. So, everyone chooses their role, the way they're observing in this cosmos, I'm sure. And I think this video is more complete than my last ones. I'm probably going to delete the ones before this because my belief is more wrapped up in that micro and macro animism and my ethnic ancestral polytheism than it is to like recognize like the hermetic similarity between all things. I think the varied expressions are part of the divine creation, and I think those who work to rule it all, control it all, or be the one are actually enemies to that experience. Share your thoughts as always. This is Clay's Ramblings. I'm just rambling with Sir Shiny Bottom. He's a very smart guy. He's got a lot of thoughts on things. And tell me what you think, what your theories are, and continue the conversation.